to order sorry, I'll call to order a meeting of the Groton Board of Education Policy Committee, and it is Tuesday, February 10th, and it is 6:04 p.m. I'll just note that we have all members in attendance, as well as several members from the administration. Our first item after call to order is review of the minutes, and I took a quick look at the minutes. I didn't see any problems that jumped out at me. I was wondering if anyone else um, had
Look
any
good to me.
comments or
Yeah,
good.
they're fine.
All right. Without any amendments, I'll accept those minutes. And I see our chair, Bev Washington, has joined as well. Um, So the next item is discussion on P5113.13 credit for work experience. We looked at this last time and now it's come through with some modifications.
Okay.
And I think maybe Assistant Principal McKenna might be contributing to this. Um, just guessing.
Yes, just guessing, right.
And I don't know if you're leading it or if you wanted to, Susan, but the
No,
floor is yours.
I got updated about the attendance. I think there's a little bit in here. They even talked, Anne Marie's going to investigate for regulations. There's some districts that will put together a contract from the employer and the student. And I think that work habits are really important as part of this. And there might be a way that the kids could either sign a contract or do something in regulations that would really help encourage that attendance, both at school
Good.
and at work, right?
All right. I was wondering if I don't have the ability right now to show screen share. If we can, that's great. If
I have
not,
it. I'll do
that's
that.
okay too.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you. And it's P5113.13. It's probably the first attachment after the minute.
Yeah, it says credit for work. Yeah.
Yep,
Perfect.
there
Is
it
this
is.
the one? Okay.
Yes,
You got
it
it.
is. And
Hey,
this is a
Mike,
policy we need to have legally. We just and it's based on CABE language, and it's been further modified subsequent to our discussion last time.
Mike, I can't get my video to work. That's why you can't see me.
I can picture you. So.
Oh, that's funny.
So I don't know that we need like a real overview again this time. I'll just say generally that this is a policy that would be helpful to the high school. There have been some instances where students have done work for credit in the past or maybe even now, and it'd be really, really helpful to have policy and then corresponding regulations and with that as well.
Amy,
So-
did you want to add to that anything? Because we do have kids. Some of them I know pretty well, and they visit me for a while. But we do like to get them work credit as part of their education. It's really worthy experience. Did you want to speak to it?
No, we obviously, because it's already been a practice at the high school, for, I would say, some students, maybe a handful here and there every year. It's something that we certainly support. We all examined the revision. We support the revision. And we're kind of looking forward to moving forward, and working within whatever the state's guidelines are and whatever the board sets for policy. So I'm here for any questions, but I don't really have any, additional comments. I feel like you were all, very receptive in listening to our comments the last time we met. And I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just saw a few things, maybe like on the level of kind of maybe typos. And it's if we scroll down to the last bullet point on this page, I felt like this sentence in revision sort of lost something in the middle. It says the principal or designee is responsible for ensuring that is compliant. So I think you see the longer version of it. It says the credit for work experience is compliant. But We need something. We need something after that and before is, whatever we call it.
That must be a typo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, is it
just that.
missing student credit
Yeah,
or workplace
something like that.
experience? Okay.
Yeah, we abbreviated, and so something like that. The work experience would be great. That's great. The work experience. And then
Mike,
the next, yep.
no, go ahead. When you're done, I have a question because I can't raise my hand either. So I'm going to
Well,
switch computers.
sorry about that then.
No.
Um, so no, yeah, any time you want to comment, just speak. Um, there's these open bullet points at the end there, and that SCHWP, it just has an extra letter there. I don't think that I think it's student credit for work experience, so it's SCWP. Um, and I think there's another instance of that later on. Um, I have a question which we can come back to. I was just wondering if that last bullet point, adhering to all applicable laws, including the guidelines and procedures for the employment of minors in Connecticut, if you look up, that's the responsibility of the principal or designee. Um, it I don't know if there's a qualifying statement because we're gonna, as a school system, of course, adhere to all laws that we have to on our side, but we can't ensure that an employee, or for that matter, a student, is going to adhere to all applicable laws. I mean, there's a limit of our reach, I'd say,
That's
there,
a good point.
and uh, and it could almost be flipped a little, like adhering to all laws um, applicable to Groton Public Schools, or the board, or the school, or something like
Adhering
that.
to school board policy?
It's like adhering to, they want us to make sure that we're following labor laws on our side. Um, but it seemed very broad in that way. Uh, it's not necessarily something that has to get cleared up tonight, but that was the one that I was like, oh, I should bring that up. Um, and yeah, on the second page at the top, there's another instance of that SCHWP instead of
Yep, I got that. Yep.
SCWP. And then at the end of that sentence, these are eligibility requirements. And it that first sentence reads like two requirements, because it's saying 16 years of age, so this is an age requirement, and you're enrolled. And then it says, and must comply with state labor laws. I don't know if we need that. Keep it in if you want, because it was just said before, or maybe you only need it in one spot. But that's it read a little like it's kind of like doubling up for one bullet point.
Yeah, it does.
And then I think this is probably our negotiated wording here. The student must have an acceptable attendance record. That's what we're good with now, right? Before we're going for like chronically absent or not worrying about that. So I was just wondering, this is good? This
Yeah, I think
wording?
this is good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember this.
I still like the chronically absent piece, Mike, but that's just me.
Beverly, I was
like-
talking to Anne Marie, and she said that a lot of districts have like almost a contract that they can put in regulations where the student has to sign off and the employer has to sign off on, what the expectations are. And that part of being part of a workforce is that you need to attend school, in order to do this project. And then you also have to attend work. So Anne Marie's going to look into that for regulations for us to make it like have some meat or some teeth.
Okay.
We would
All
all,
right, that'd be
Susan, we would
great.
probably also need to think about what the ramifications are if they don't have good attendance.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, right. And so that would probably need to be in regulation as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
loss of credit, whatever.
And Assistant Principal McKenna, you can just speak when there's an opening. It's fine.
Okay, thank you. We also had a conversation about this language today, and you know, we know that if there is a student that's in attendance that has, attendance, trouble, maybe they're getting intervention supports. We have a system for tier one, tier two, and tier three. We know that we would have them under a contract anyway.
Yeah.
And should they apply for credit for work experience, they would have to be upholding their attendance contract. So we just wanted to make sure that we were abundantly clear with this group and then also with the full board that students that did have issues with chronic absence would be working under an appeal contract. And we would be tracking their attendance for school, certainly while they were granted the chance for credit for work experience. And as a side note, we have a number of students that are currently working with the EB boat program, as an after school program to gain experience in working with personnel from EB. And we note that on EB days and on other days now, those students have an increased better attendance habits because now they know they're part of the boat program. We're hoping to see with this policy is something similar.
That's
When
great.
students are invested in something like outside work, it's going to make them want their diploma more, which will make them want to have their attendance credits as well. Because you can't get an education if you don't come to school. Just quoting one of the other assistant principals, Miss Hodge, we firmly believe that good attendance is necessary no matter how you're getting your credits, but especially for the work experience. We didn't want to exclude chronically absent students if we could hook them back with some work experience as a way to get back to school.
So
Thank
what
you.
I'm
Great.
hearing is, I'm sorry, I can't
No,
find
it's
my
fine.
hand here. I can't find my
No,
hand.
just speak. Just speak.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. So what I'm hearing then is that you have to be, you apply to this. You don't just, whoever signs up gets to do it. And so it's reviewed. So that would account, and what you're saying now, Amy, is that would account for the chronically absent. There's a way of addressing that.
Yeah, it's definitely reviewed. Anytime, we do work in our teams with the APs, each have two guidance counselors that they work relatively closely with. And we have students in tiered attendance sort of watch anyway. And as they get closer and closer to graduation and something like credit for work experience becomes a possibility for them, all of these things are reviewed in meetings with the students and obviously with the parents in the know as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Great.
Amy, are you saying that students who are chronically absent would not qualify for this school work program?
No, we're just saying that if they were to want to be qualified and we saw that there was an attendance problem, that they're probably already getting tier one, tier two, or tier three supports. And we would want to make sure that we are seeing progress in students' attendance once they are getting those supports.
So what's the issue with leaving that sentence in, that part of the sentence in? Must not be considered chronically absent.
I think we just didn't want to exclude anybody. We
Well, if they're
didn't
chronic,
want,
go ahead.
no, it's fine. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying if they're chronically absent, why would we want them to be part of the work program? If they can't come to school, why would we want them to be part of a work program where they have to show up for work?
We have
Because
Often
found
that's
in
motivation.
yeah, it's motivation.
we have found in many cases,
I don't
correct,
know.
it is motivation to get them back to school,
And you
to
could
get
have
them
a
back to
child that,
school.
All right.
can I
I
also
could see that.
explain, Beverly? You might have a
Huh?
child that's gone through a trauma, and let's say they
Uh-huh.
had to be out, and if they're out 18 days in a school year, they're considered chronic. But even if you go through the months, if they're out a couple days a month, that's considered chronic. But over time, it's 18 days. So you could have a student who, and we certainly look at that. We look at illness and we look at whether, it's been, excused or unexcused, but the state just calls anybody who's got 18 days out of the 180 days chronic. So I think that because of the definition, we could lose kids who might need that extra, encouragement.
And
Okay.
as I'm hearing this, Amy, so then they get to the workforce and they've been chronically absent and then they're good. But then those who and they work out well, and that's a good thing. But then we choose one of those chronically absent students because we want to encourage them. But then they get to the workforce and it's like they're terrible. They're out all the time. They can be dropped, right? Or
I
no?
think, well, yeah, because attendance is always progress monitored. So,
It's the next
rather,
bullet point too.
yeah, it's always
Yeah.
progress monitored, and we would have to make sure that we were keeping track of that for them.
So, but I'm not sure that my understanding of the answer is clear. So, and maybe my question has two parts. One, could we drop them, or could EB just say you're fired?
I
Well,
can't presume to know what the employer would do, but
I didn't
I
say would. I said could.
could. I mean, sure, if they're not showing up for work, then it would be a life lesson for them to be asked not to return, correct?
Yeah, so
Um,
somebody could say you're fired. Could say,
Absolutely.
yeah, okay,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And that's why we should look at these contracts
Yeah.
in regulations to see what other
yeah,
schools do, because that would be part, and being able to sit there and sign a contract. We do this with stipulated agreements all the time when they're coming to see me, and they need to follow those rules to be able to be back in school. So I think they're pretty powerful for kids most of the time.
I have another question, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay. On the first page, on the flip side of what you're showing now, why did we remove the student must receive approval for credit for work experience from principal or designee? Do we, yeah, we took that out. Yeah.
Which one is it?
The student must receive approval for credit for work experience from principal or designee. It's under program conditions / rules and responsibilities. It's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
The
it's struck through right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can somebody answer that question for me, please?
I don't know. I wasn't here the first time, so I just see it taken out.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it still being in unless it's just somewhere else. That's what I was trying to figure.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out too, trying to read, is it somewhere else? But I couldn't find it, but maybe you can, Mike, or
Yeah,
Sean.
let's keep it in. Let's put it back
I'm
in.
looking right now, but
Mike, where is it? I can't find it on my sheet here. I
so
can't.
It's the fourth
under
bullet
program
point.
common rules, if you
Yeah.
go down, it's the fourth budget. It says the student must receive approval for credit for work experience from principal or designee.
Yeah.
It's struck through, but we could change that.
Yeah,
It's on the
I'd be
first
fine with
page,
keeping it.
right about
Yeah.
just below the middle.
Yeah,
I don't see
I
it
see
anywhere
that, and
else.
I think we should keep it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my
And-
other
And it makes
question,
sense to stay, sorry, but Bev, it makes sense to stay in
That's
because it talks about how the principal or designee in collaboration with the counselors will determine the maximum hours right after.
Yeah.
So it makes sense
Yep,
for it
yep.
to be in there.
Yeah.
so my
Bev?
other question, Mike, is about the credits. How do we determine? I'm just reading from the last meeting, my little notes on my last meeting sheet. How do we determine, maybe Amy can answer, how many credits they're going to receive? Because am I missing that somewhere? Or is that going to be in regulations?
I would like to see that in regulations. I guess it'd be part of the contract, like the general contracts, bullet points. But yeah, I was wondering the same still.
I'm happy to share what our current practice is. And I think I think we're pretty happy with the current practice. It's been working. For 60 hours, a student can earn a half credit.
Mhm.
That usually happens over a semester. Maybe it happens over a year. I'm not familiar with every single case, but that usually does happen over a semester. And then we do limit the potential for earning credit for work to one full credit. So if a student were to do this, their max is one credit out of all of the graduation credits they need to accumulate, because we have obviously other requirements that students have to uphold to graduate. So this really is only worth one credit, but most students go for the half.
Okay. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
And and one more. I don't want to monopolize the conversation, but one more. I have a note saying about liability. When the students go out, who's liable if something happens to them?
I mean, in this case, the students do complete, generally they complete working papers if they're younger. I think when a student is has employment, that the parents are heavily involved in that. Um, that is a contract that, a job is something that happens like a student. It may be, I mean, usually the parent knows that they have that after school job. So any liability never falls upon the school. The student is
Okay.
not in the school and they're not in a school sponsored activity.
Mm-hmm.
They are getting credit for an employer sponsored activity. So
Mm-hmm.
we've never had any kind of issue, I guess you could say, with liability that I'm aware of. At least I don't think that we do. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, just getting a charger. I hope that answers your question. I'm more than happy to elaborate as best I can.
No, that did it, Amy. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Any other questions or comments on this one? Well,
Thank
we
you,
can
Amy.
yes, thank you very much. Both the policy and the current practice is very enlightening. So would someone like to move that we recommend P5113.13 credit for work experience to go to the board for a first reading?
I vote to move it.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean,
Andrea
Sean, you,
moved.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Sean first, Andrea second.
There you go. That's
There we
good.
go.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Andrea, I think you're aye.
Say what?
Were you an aye? I overspoke.
Oh, okay. I eyed.
Okay.
Aye.
So that's all in favor. That's unanimous. So it's 3-0-0. No one abstained. No one objected. All right. Well, thank you. You can stay for the
Yeah.
rest of the meeting if you like, but you're very
No,
welcome
I had a lot of fun at the budget meeting last night.
to.
Just say go Falcons. They're playing New London tonight, the basketball
Oh,
team.
oh,
So
they're doing great.
that's where
Oh,
everybody else
good.
is.
Yeah,
Good luck
Have
to
a good
them.
meeting.
Yeah.
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you, Amy.
Think I might go to the basketball game too. I'll see you guys. No, so our next item on the agenda is actually it's P/R because it's policy and regulation 3323 purchasing. And this one's a long one. We've looked at it already once last month, and now it's coming back with changes reflective of that discussion. And I believe some of the there's different colors here, but anything in green or blue is what's in the current version right now. And I think I owe a great debt to Andrea as well for going through and making some wording changes to this and other policies. And of course, Rita for constructing it.
Yeah. Thank you,
For
Rita.
sure.
No, thank you, Andrea, for all your help with the grammar.
You're welcome.
This
So
one's the
you-
opus.
it is pretty lengthy, and so Erica and I went through it and hopefully amended, like made changes to all of the dollar figures that were needed to be changed. So I'm comfortable with any questions you have regarding it. I know it's pretty long, but it is a policy that I have implemented in the past, and it gives us the ability to basically get the job done when things need to be waived for bid. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that
Yes.
makes sense.
I want to go through this again because
Mhm.
I've noticed things that now I'm going to take 2.5 seconds to say this. I can see here, and I will not put my name on anything that doesn't have an Oxford comma. So property, comma, real property, real property or personnel. Real property, comma, or personnel includes. That's an Oxford comma, and I'm not putting my name on anything that doesn't have one.
Where are you looking?
Are you looking at number 3?
Yeah.
1.3?
Yes.
Property. Oh. Oh. Wait a minute, property, comma, wait a minute, let me, maybe I misread this. I'll blame it on my cataract. Property, real property. That should say real or personal. No, I said personnel, that's my cataract. No, property, comma, real or personal. Second property should not be there. So
Yeah,
I
it's
see what
I
you
think it
property,
mean.
is.
yeah, property, real or personal,
I
comma,
see what you're saying.
yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
I'm a big fan of parentheses in that case, but maybe you're not.
Say it again?
I'm a big fan of parentheses, properties,
Oh, I
parentheses,
hate
real or
parentheses.
personal. I thought you
No,
might.
get those things out of there. Get them out of there.
Put it in angle brackets. I was just wondering it says property in quotes and it says property next. And it used to have means. If that is kind of like a little choppy there, but I don't have a huge
Maybe it should
problem with
be
it.
like the others that say include.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
because the other ones say includes
Right.
property or real property, real property or personal.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
don't
idea,
like
Rita.
means either, so I'd rather use includes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like
agree. I agree.
Okay.
anything else from anyone on this first page? Or at least what we can see?
Looks good to me.
Looks good to me.
Great. I've got one on that next paragraph. So it's in blue, the bid specifications. It's the second to last blue sentence. Um, and I think I've got circled and a draft contract. So I think there's something weird with the wording, but I'm trying to see from the screen where the period starts. The sentence, it's a really long sentence.
You're talking
I
about
think
the one that starts with the superintendent or designee?
I think it's that. I think it might start at bid specifications. Yeah.
Yeah, it starts at
Yeah.
bids.
Okay, sorry.
The and draft contract. Um, so bid specifications should include. So what's a bid? What's a draft contract? Is that a bid specification or is that? Um,
No, a draft
yeah.
contract is from the vendor. Bid specifications are what we tell them that needs to be in the contract.
So this in writing and whether the purchase will require entering into a contract.
Yeah, that's
Um,
wordy.
and a draft I just if you just we don't even need to amend it now, but if it just if it works for you in the end, we're good. But if you need to make a minor change to that one, uh, I kind of got lost in the kind of the
Yeah,
commas and things.
I'll relook at that paragraph. Some of them are very long sentences. We did
Yeah,
struggle with a couple of them, me and Erica. So let me look at that again.
and And I've got only one other on this page. It's farther down. I don't know if someone has anything on. It's where the bid is struck through, right on C. Um,
I'm putting
so
some, Mike, I just put some language here in the chat that we may would be able to use that
okay.
kind of calls it out a little bit easier to identify. One, two, three.
Yeah, if you do that in the chat, just you can send that to like ultimately to Erica and Rita,
Okay.
so that they're not having to track the chat. But it's good to have it there right now. Um, um, then
Is that for the
in
blue area? I'm sorry. Is that for the what we recently talked about, Sean?
Yeah,
yeah,
that bid specification piece. I just think
Yeah,
that this makes it a little clearer what is needed. And yes, it's still long, but it separates it out a little bit
I
easier
see what you
to
mean.
identify.
Sorry,
Do you need
Mike.
me to email that, or is that okay there? Do you have that?
Can you email just so Erica has it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And and then on this one, the bid is struck through. I'm wondering if advertising should be struck through too, because it kind of just hangs there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably just
yeah,
stop at notice. Yeah,
at the notice.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, I agree.
Anyone have anyone else for anything else for this page?
Yeah, no, advertising should be, absolutely should be crossed out.
Great. And then on the next page, right at the top, I see what was done. The award shall be made to the bid instead of the bidder, which means the requirements, terms, and conditions contained in the specifications. That's good. Um, in the lowest among those possessing and then bidders is struck out. I see why that was, because now we're talking about the bid. But then we're saying the bids possessing the skill, ability, and integrity necessary for the faithful performance of the work. I'm wondering if that last part is more of a comment on the bidder, or if the bid just as part of the bid, it's like who's bidding too. Like I'm just wondering if that last part after the bidder struck out does that still make sense to be associated with the bid, or is that with the bidder itself? It's
Tell me where you are again, Mike.
first sentence on the page that's up now, which is page 3 of 8. Basically, what was happened, the wording was changed away from bidding from the bidder to the bid, which makes sense. It's just that last part. I'm wondering if that actually is qualities that go with the bidder,
It does
or
seem
it.
like that, Mike.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But a bid includes who the bidder is, and you have
Right.
to
No,
stipulate your
no, that,
credentials and everything. So in that sense, it could go through.
But does the
Um,
bid perform or does the bidder perform? Faithful
that
yeah,
bidder
yeah,
of the work.
yeah.
Who's doing the
So
performance?
And it's listed among those.
no, no, wait a minute. The award shall be made to the bid, which meets, to the award should be made to that bid, which meets the requirements, terms, and so on and so forth. Um,
And it's
or,
the
or,
lowest.
or you could do as Mike, I think I heard Mike say, I think, to the bidder who meets is that what I heard you say, Mike? The bidder who?
yeah, just like basically who's the subject? Does it make sense
Right.
that that last part still refers to a bid, not a bidder? Um, it it's not going
It
to change
doesn't.
what we do.
Yeah,
So,
I think you
yeah,
keep it one or the other.
yeah.
And if
I,
you're
I, I
talking
think we
about
should,
skills and ability, that's got
Yeah.
to be a human.
um, yeah, and then maybe it's yeah. So
Right. Right. That's true.
yeah,
whatever wording settled on is fine with me on that. And then my last
Mm.
one, which might be a reflective of me um, of petering out on these things, is in G on this page, um, and it's upon acceptance of the LRB Q, a letter of notification will be sent to the awardee as well as to unsuccessful entity. Maybe it's just entities. Um, like plural.
Yeah.
And so that's the last thing I caught. But maybe I was my inspection skills weren't as sharp as anymore afterwards.
You're dying
But
down.
So,
it's a great structure to everything. I really like that.
yeah.
I mean, the for sure. So,
Should we, are you gonna use the word bidder or bid? Because down on, three, you see where three is? If you scroll down, one, two, three, they use the word bidder. So I don't know if you want to really use the word bidder and not use the word bid in that first paragraph on
yeah,
the top of that page.
I took out, I made it bid instead of the other, instead of bidder, because I wanted to get the
Mm.
people out of there. And it should be, the award should be made to the bid. Um,
But then to Susan's point, Andrea, it says possessing the skill, the ability, and integrity, and that's a person.
See, but,
Is-
but in my mind, when I read it, that meant the bid would be presented by, would it include those skills, would provide those skills within the bid itself. In other words, whoever's going to be executing the work for that bid would have those skills. See, that's how I read it. So if that's unclear, see, because I read it 1,000 times, and finally I said, that really means anybody working on this is going to, it's going to be reflected in the bill, in the bid, their talent and their ability to and their integrity and that sort of thing within the company making the bid. That's how I read it. But if
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see it that way too.
so so
I can
can we
see
leave
it
it up
both
to,
ways.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can too.
yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And then of course, in the determination, the following criteria always refers to the bidder, or seems to,
Mm.
when it's not stricken.
say it
So
again, Susan.
Huh. So underneath where it's in determination of the LRQB, the following criteria will be considered as applicable. It refers to, sometimes it's stricken out, but when it does refer, it refers to the bidder. In that one
Like
through six.
number 2 and 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two,
And
three,
three.
six. Mhm.
See, so that's why
so
Yeah.
I was like confused here.
I see.
so personally, I'm okay with from the perspective of the committee to allow Rita to mull this over and land on if you pardon this whether bid or bidder is better.
Yeah.
So and then we can go from there.
Yeah,
Um,
me and Erica can hash it out.
yeah.
Uh,
No, I think it's a good comment. I just think that we possibly have to put the bidder back in because it's mentioned multiple times after that.
yeah.
Mm.
I just wanted to get the redundancy out of there. It was the bid and the bidder and the bid and the
Yeah,
bidder.
Yeah,
So I
it's
tried.
confusing when it goes back and forth, right?
it is
Yeah.
confusing.
Mm.
Agreed.
Why don't you send me that section tomorrow? And whatever changes you make to it, and I'll take a look at it just to make sure that it's at the Oxford comma as it were.
So, all right. Any other
Mm.
comments on this?
Are we going out to bid here soon, Rita? I think we have a few things to go out to bid for.
Yeah.
Sam was talking about it today with these grants.
So I'll just make a last comment again. This is wonderfully structured, and I'm happy that this is a policy that's consistent with the business practices that we have and that you want to have. And this is also very much responsive to the operational review in terms of having our practices clearly articulated in policy.
Mhm.
So that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's really needed for my department to have it clear what we need as documentation, for each purchase order we approve, basically.
And for my central office directors, so we're all consistent.
Right.
Right.
So is there any questions on the, what page is it on? The waivers? I just want to make sure that we're okay with all of those exceptions.
Oh, yeah, and I'm glad to see that you have an exception for special ed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one thing Floyd suggested.
Well, and that was, I think, confusion in the town, ops review, because, just the familiarity with special ed law and how that all works and
Mhm.
And I do
exceptions that need
say,
to take
yeah,
place.
during the audit this year, the audit that we are going through and almost done with, we didn't have this in place to help my office, provide documentation. So that's why we really need it in place so that when we're audited, it's clear that we can have a waiver for certain things. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we had the
On-
reasons, but not the
Right.
waiver itself, right?
That's
Correct.
right. Mhm.
But we didn't have
On,
a policy saying it can be waived.
Right. On under waivers on number 7, should state be capitalized? Because I don't see it capitalized on sentence number 6. I mean, when do we capitalize the word state and when do we keep it a lower case?
Yeah, it
Usually it's
looks
probably
inconsistent.
capitalized.
Yeah.
Federal
no-
and state, in my opinion, should be capitalized, but
Yeah.
I'm not a
But it often
perfectionist.
isn't. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. So when do you capitalize it and when do you don't? Professor?
Yeah,
Andrea will
I
tell.
ruminated over that actually, because only because it stood for the word Connecticut. That's what
Yeah.
state means there,
Yeah.
and that's why it's capitalized.
Oh,
But
on
then
number
I
7.
thought about it. I kept thinking about that. Let's see. And you were on 7, right? And I kept
Mhm.
looking at
Yeah.
the word contract. And are state contracts a thing? Or is it just that it's the state of Connecticut, as it were,
No,
contract?
state
So,
contracts are a thing. They have a number.
so that was my thing. Should contracts be, are state contracts a thing? And if they are, then should both of those be capitalized?
Hmm. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's
I
above my
don't-
pay grade.
I don't think so. It's a thing, but it's not. I don't. I'll have to look into that.
We can always
You know
ask
what?
AI.
It
Yeah,
must be,
Oh,
it must be,
geez.
it must be somewhere.
Lowercase
it's
AI.
got to be
Yeah.
somewhere, Andrea.
Yeah, it's got to be
Yeah.
somewhere. I mean, like it's got to be written somewhere. And my thing is, I I would not capitalize either one of them, state or
Yeah,
contract.
I'm going back to not capitalize
Yeah.
any of them because
Yeah, I think I think the thing that we have to do is just to make sure that it's consistent.
right.
True.
And I would be remiss in at times making sure that that happened. So we just
The
have to make
state
sure.
contract can be any state. Doesn't have to be Connecticut.
Yeah, but I think this one,
Good point.
This one means Connecticut because
Yeah.
we're in Connecticut.
yeah. But let's just say that we're not gonna capitalize those things anymore. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
All right.
Connecticut,
Anything else?
just for clarification, in number 6, Connecticut general statutes, that would be, because that's the title.
Yeah.
Connecticut general statutes is the, yeah, okay. I'll be quiet.
I don't think that's going to happen, Andrea.
You're very helpful.
Thanks. Yeah, you're very kind.
Are we ready to recommend this for first reading?
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right. So with amendments, I move that we recommend P/R 3323 purchasing for first reading by the Board of Education. A
A
second?
second.
Sean seconds. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Andrea, you're an aye. I heard Sean. I'm
I
an
am.
aye. Okay.
Yeah,
That's 3-0-0. And that will move to the board.
And next is
All right.
business operations. Is that correct?
Line item transfer, I guess is
That's
what
what I
I'm
meant. Line item
saying.
transfers. Yes.
Yeah. So our next item is discussion on P3160 line item transfers. And this
This,
one came before us last month too. So
yeah, I'm just concerned because not all of the amendments were made in this copy. Yeah, this isn't the most recent, so I don't know if we should hold on it because even I don't really want to, but there's amendments that me and Erica made
Do you
that
remember
are
what
pretty,
they were?
they're pretty, um,
if you have it and can send it to, I guess I
I
did
don't
it.
know because that's the one that was attached to the email. So I don't think I have it electronically
Oh, gotcha.
This is
from her.
the one Joyce sent me today at 4:30. But if you have another one and want to send it, I can try to share that.
No, unfortunately, I don't have Erica, did the changes and gave it to Joyce, so it might have been, just the wrong one saved and attached because I know there were definitely changes made on the breakdown of the major objects. We're trying to mirror our budget book that has the major
Yeah.
objects, the salaries, employee benefits, and I wanted it to mirror what our budget book has. So that's, in my opinion, very important because this is all about the budget and reports that we give to the town. So the only thing I wanted to ask about is, see where it says Board of Finance? We wanted to change everything to town, but I'm not sure if you guys want to use the word town because there's two boards that it has to go through. So do we say finance authority? It's like, what are your thoughts on that?
Can you
I
say
kind of like,
fiduciary?
I like finance authority. We have a couple hoops we have to cross.
Because we have more than one, I figured
Mhm.
that might be better to say.
I'd be fine with that. I also noted, I was thinking about that when I read the last one. I noted it was, we said municipality when we were going into like shared services.
Oh,
So
right.
so
Right.
that could be another option too, but I'm fine with either.
I just think finance authority will cover both boards, right? So I think this is gonna have to come back.
What
Because
about the word fiduciary? Because that's how they isn't that how they cite that in the charter, Mike? Fiduciary?
Oh, I don't
Fiduciary?
know.
Yeah, I think that's how they cite it in the charter.
Okay.
I don't know.
can you scroll down a little so I can see the number of the policy? I can't see it on the board. Can you, 3360, is that it?
3160.
Or we could say fiscal authority. It's just
Oh
something that
yeah,
I've been
that's
trying.
good.
Yeah, fiscal authority.
Yeah,
sounds
that's good. I didn't get that one in my packet.
I
No,
didn't either.
thank you,
So
Beverly.
I'm looking at the old one from the last meeting on
Yeah, I don't think you
January
guys have the
13th.
updated version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
So I apologize.
I didn't
I've
get it
been
either.
looking and looking. I'm like,
Yeah.
where is that doggone thing?
Thank God, Beverly, you said that. Yeah.
so we'll hold on this one. I was just
Yes.
wondering, like at this moment, do you have any in revising it, were there still outstanding questions from us that did you needed our input for? Um,
Um, I guess if we scroll down, like I said, we're gonna mirror the budget book page that has the major objects, and then I just want to make sure you all are okay with the timing of monthly reports that are prepared September through June in similar format to the itemized estimate. So I just wanted you guys to if you have any comments about that.
Do you want to read that to us? How you want it to go?
Well, I think the wording there, we didn't change anything. The
Okay.
superintendent or designee, that paragraph
Mm-hmm.
remains the same. So there's no changes that I know of. So I just want to make sure that we're all on board with when we give I think it was brought up at the last meeting about giving the town council reports, how often,
Mhm.
officially, right? And
Yeah.
I don't believe this policy has been in place to address it.
and
Does that make
and
sense?
but these reports are not to the town council, right? This to the board or to I guess to anyone.
I think
Honestly.
it's to anyone because
Yeah.
once we post it into a meeting, it's public,
Right.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
But weren't they asking for something more quarterly specific?
Quarterly. I think it
Yes.
says, it does say that here, I
It
thought.
does.
Just trying to find where it says that.
Yeah, because there's a specific state statute. I think it's a state statute that says we do have to present quarterly information.
Mhm.
It's not to level of detail. This is beyond the level of detail that is required, but and that's why the
Right,
financial report is posted
the state
now.
statute is by the categories above that
Yeah.
that we have to revise and make it match our major categories. I call them major objects, salaries, benefits,
Yeah.
that is, yes, state statute. And that's why we have to put this policy in place because budget transfers are not being brought to the board by major object. Like, in my opinion, all budget transfers need to come to you. Our current policy says only when the function has changed.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And when you do that in the next one, like when we see it, I find it helpful if it does have those object codes like the 800, 700.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's a good idea to add those next to it.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean, Mike?
Yeah, because I think it's in like an old version of a policy long ago or something, but I kind of like that. My outstanding question on this I had was um, a board approval of transfers. I think it's in the process, but I felt like we didn't necessarily explicitly say that in the policy. I was trying to find exactly where. I was looking back at my old note. I have that note written, but I don't have um where. Oh, it
I
says it in some places, but maybe not for. It
Yeah, this
says
is
it.
the Model K policy /
Yeah,
Shipman and Goodwin. So I if there's somewhere we need to add that, then we should
I think
decide.
it.
I
Oh, I
think
know where it is. It's
it's on the other side, isn't it?
Yeah. Let
It's
me
on
see.
the other side. Right on the first paragraph, I think, Mike.
Oh, there it is. I think that's when it talks about, yeah, when it goes to ratified by the board, any such
Mhm.
meeting shall not be counted in limitation. Yeah.
I know we've talked about this.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where it actually says. So that's saying like, if something does get ratified or approved. I thought there was one other place where it actually said it. I mean, since it's going to come back to us, like, just see if it says like approved by the board, like we're
It
doing.
says the superintendent is authorized to, I see what you're saying, Michael. It doesn't say like approved by the board
You know
somewhere.
what,
Yeah.
Mike? You know, in the red part that struck out, there's a sentence that's, are you talking about where you want all transfers of funds between budget accounts should be recommended by the superintendent for board approval?
Yeah, I
Is that
think
what
we
you're
just
looking
need to
for?
have that like a sentence that
Okay.
actually says,
Mhm.
involves board approval step. Because it refers to it, as you've pointed out in that first paragraph. And that's the thing I was looking for, but it doesn't say that we actually did it.
Right.
Right?
Right. Well,
Like,
it's in the red part, but it
yeah,
struck out in the red part.
yeah.
So you might want to take out that sentence and put it somewhere then. Yeah.
Who else would authorize the superintendent but the board?
I just think to get through a first reading smoothly, it should have a nice clear sentence that still says board approval. That's just my feeling. Because we're doing it, but I just think they'd like that. So,
But again, my question would be, who else approves but the board? No one, the town council doesn't approve. The board approves the superintendent to do it.
They might
That's
like to.
implicit. Yeah, I know, but that's implicit.
No,
And
it is.
yeah,
yeah,
it's implicit. I'd like it explicit, so it's just
All right.
smoother.
all right, I'll give up.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you see
I
that?
agree with
Do
you,
you see
Mike.
that sentence, Rita, that we can ask her to put in, and where do we put it?
Yeah, I'll talk to Eric about it.
So
We'll-
we'll get it in ship
we'll
shape
move
and
it
get it
back
to you
in.
next time.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this,
Yeah,
I'm
just
sorry that
remind me.
you don't have the
Remind me I
revised
said
copy.
that.
So,
That's okay,
all
Rita.
right.
Hopefully we can do it the next reading, because this is also something that was brought up with the ops review, so I want to get it in place.
Yeah, and just when it does come up next meeting, we'll remind us all that we went through everything last time too. So we're starting halfway through the discussion next time.
Okay,
So it'll be quicker, hopefully.
no worries.
Okay, so I think I'm ready to move to the next topic if everyone else is. We're not going to take any action here right now on that one.
No, we can't.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll move on to discussion on P1330, use of school facilities. And this has a corresponding regulation with it. And I think that's where we're going to probably spend our time. And as background, the regulations part of it, like basically how much is charged for people using organizations using school facilities, that was updated earlier this school year or maybe right before it, and it went through the Finance and Facilities Committee for good reason, and that's, I think, the current version we have has gone through them, but it has been referred, I think, by the chair to the policy committee as well. So we don't just have to look at those rates. We can look at the policy as well. And I was just wondering, sort of like get a feel of where we wanted to go with this. But
So
I'll
one of
let.
the things I asked Erica to do, because they had the pricing in regulations, but I said it really should be appendix to the policy. And if the board is going to review the policy, they also need then to review and update any of the prices. So I would rather have that than on my shoulders. I'd rather have you all help me with that. So instead of
Oh,
calling it policy, the chart, we put, and I think you should have that in front of you, it would be the Appendix A, Policy 1330, which has the groups and the pricing. And then, that correlates with the policy. And then the regulations just specifies, the fire marshal needs to do this, and, all of the, things that need to take place as a regulation. Did you notice that, Mike?
Yeah, so are you, and you're advocating that we take that pricing list out of regulations, put it into the policy as an appendix, so that when that gets changed, that's something that the board
It
definitely
goes
votes
together.
on.
Yeah. Yep. And that really, draws the line clear in the sand of what's a policy, what needs to happen versus what's a regulation.
Okay. And for the first part, aside from like the wording changes I see, is there anything else that like basically is this is the main part of the policy right now, is that meeting the needs of current practice, or
Yes.
is there anything that we need to add?
No, it's very specific about the building usage, happening on weekends, holidays, after school, I believe it says. So, and that the school buildings are really meant for the school first. So we would have the first say on the usage of the building for school events. Like Fitch High
Right.
School is always, moving and grooving. But, should we have, like, the chief of police asked to use our building on the 17th, which is one of the President's Days, and we don't have kids in school. So that worked out great. So he could have a PD session. And anybody in-house in our community really doesn't have to pay, but it's the people who are outside our organization that pay more. And we tried to talk about profit, nonprofit. I think, if you say it in here. Let's see. So it talks about priority use versus, and priority use would be educational programs, student activities, things that are directly related to our schools and our school community. And it's listed 1 through 7. So the last priority would be out of town organizations.
And then I can't remember if it's in this policy part or if it's in the next part, but somewhere it says the pricing structure changes if it's at a time or day when a custodial people wouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
And if well, I had a broad question, like when is that? Because like on a school night, I've been to after school
Yeah.
functions, and it seems like the custodians are always there, and particularly well in any of our schools, I could see why they would
Yeah.
be too. It's a tough job, and but I was just wondering, probably not in the policy, but at, or maybe in the appendix, something that kind of gives like typical hours during the school. Like clearly, we think Sunday they're not going to be there, even though they might be. But like during a school day, like how far after a school day is that? Because one of the conditions is that you have to have someone, school staff there when something's happening, and that can be satisfied by a custodian being
Right.
knowledgeable about it and being in the building.
And really, all of our schools have a nighttime custodian, but it depends on how late at night. I mean, I would say that, we do have after school events all the time in most of our schools, and even using our gyms for park and rec and that kind of thing. But I would say Saturdays, you see that high school kind of really pretty busy even on a Saturday, but Sundays and holidays, our schools are mostly closed, right?
Yeah.
So like we opened up, especially for the police, that even though it's a holiday for the schools on the 16th and 17th, we were able to open it up for the police department.
Yeah, and I was asking about school nights because of that situation that came up a couple months ago. Um, that organization meets on a weeknight, and I'd actually been at times to that, and there was always a custodian there. And then I realized, well, wait, maybe the custodian is there because of the activity. I didn't have a sense of how
Oh,
late they
yeah,
worked.
how late? Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
If Sam were here, I could ask him.
yeah, it just
I
like
can
at
find
some
out.
level,
Yeah.
regulation or the appendix, definitely not in the first part. It'd be helpful, like because it puts you into a different cost structure as an organization. Be helpful
Yeah.
to see, like, if I schedule this between 5 and 6, I'm better off than if I schedule it like 6 to 7, for instance, or
Hmm.
5:30 to 6:30.
Like having
But
hours of
there,
operation, hours
yeah,
of
for
operation.
yeah,
For the custodian.
um, yeah. Because that's what the fees kind of
Hmm.
hinge on. So
Mm.
it's probably quite later. It seems like they're there like all the time to me. Uh,
They are
But
there
that's
a
a good
lot.
suggestion.
They
Yeah.
do have
They
first
are.
and second shift. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, whenever
Mhm.
I'm there for a sporting event or anything, they're there
oh
after
yeah,
school in the evening.
But it should be made clear. I agree, Mike. It should
Yeah,
say when you're going to be charged, at what time,
yeah.
And it
because
can
Good
vary by
suggestion.
school too, you
yeah,
know?
it does.
yep,
True.
Yeah.
Because we do struggle in the business office. Um, we're struggling with, doing the bills and making sure we charging them the appropriate amount. And when we get to that, I have a couple comments.
yeah. I'm okay going to that fee structure because I think that's what the main point of why this is on. But I thought it's good to talk about this part too first.
You feel it's clear enough between group 1, group 2, and group 3?
I think we're maybe not on that page yet,
Okay.
so
Okay.
yeah, get there.
Is it a different attachment?
It's Appendix A on for that policy, P1330, Appendix A.
Yeah, yeah, I think it is. Um, yeah,
So like
and
group 1 is the function of the local government, which is the Groton, and then local non-government, local charitable, local
uh,
non-profit.
and this is labeled in ours as R1330, but as you mentioned it up top, it's the very top. It's now
Policy.
policy, and it's appendix.
Right.
Um, Yeah, and I'll just say outwardly, like the prices previous to that this had not been changed for years and years and years.
Mhm.
I do not believe the Board of Education, the Groton Public Schools, is looking at this as a money-making endeavor, rather just offsetting some of the costs associated with keeping a building open and using the building. Um, so. And knowing that we are a community resource, we just want to have it be a sustainable community resource.
Well, and part of that is the sustainability and taking care of the building.
Yeah.
The more foot traffic it has, we want to be able to use the funds and especially pay for our custodians should they be working after hours, for an event. And so that's always that group 1, 2, and 3 will always be responsible for making sure they're taking care of the custodian when they're not normally there. And tech, if they have technology needs, or a police officer, security staff, or kitchen staff. Even our, some of our booster clubs, when they go and do a pancake breakfast or something, they still are responsible for paying for the kitchen staff you know, and the custodian and people coming in.
Do you think people will have an issue with group 2, and especially if it's a nonprofit organization, charging them a fee?
Well, I think sometimes it's really hard. Some will have a nonprofit organization, I guess, label, but they do make money to support the organization for their competitions and for their they collect money per child.
Okay.
Did you want to speak to that, Rita? Because that can be kind of tricky.
Yeah, and it's hard to specify like whether or not they really are a nonprofit, right? Some are labeled nonprofit, but they are making a profit. My only concern my concern with these proposed day rate is the ones that rent it multiple days. I don't think $500 per day is reasonable. I think it's kind of high if they're doing multiple days. And also I couldn't find in the policy, we charged them we asked them to put a deposit down of 500, but what if they're renting it multiple days? Again, do they put $1,000 down? So that's the struggles that my staff are having with billing them. I do think that we should have these three groups because we should be taking care of the buildings because they're being used, and
Okay.
also the fee that we charge goes to, it says in the policy, it goes to student activities. That the fees for custodian goes to offset the custodian costs or technical staff. That goes to the salaries. But if we get $500 for the high school auditorium, that is split equitably amongst the schools for student activities.
Now, having said about the multiple days, is there a way to put in the appendix, like if you rent it for 2 or more days, will be $250 a day or $300 a day, or
Address it, yeah, Beverly. I'm not sure because I like the layout, but it's like, how do we, and also I think there should be a clause in here for grandfathered agencies like the one we just had. Be kind of grandfathered them into paying nothing. Correct? I forgot what agency that was, Susan.
I know. They
I totally
I think it
forgot.
was something with Northeast Academy. It was
Yeah.
maybe a performance group that had come
Oh,
in
yeah.
and they've been doing it.
It's
and they
something that's there
had an
every
after
day.
school. Yeah.
It was
And I said,
the
Yeah.
Eastern Regionals
Yes.
Youth
yes.
Symphony Orchestra.
Orchestra, yeah.
So there is that superintendent waiving of fees.
Oh, right. You're right, Susan.
So in this, like I see the day rates, and then above that smaller is per hour. So take an organization that comes in, let's say like right now, tonight, like 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. There wouldn't normally be a custodian on. Let's say 10 to 11. Who knows? Sometime when they're actually not there, but they're not going to pay a day rate, right? They pay
They
something like.
are. They're paying the day rate plus the custodial fees. So I'm thinking maybe we say proposed day rate or event because we have organizations asking, say it's a dance recital. So they're asking for 1 day of rehearsal and the next day is the dance recital. I'm just making something up, that has a 2-day thing. So maybe we add per event or per, I'm not 100% sure how to address that.
But if an event took the whole week, then that might be a lot
It's typically a weekend.
Yeah, it seems to me like they're not necessarily a carve out, but like for instance, this proposed day rate $500. Let's say like per hour, maybe like it's $100 or $100 and some dollars per hour, up to a maximum of 500 for the day rate, because that's what, like, even though the existing organizations are grandfathered in, a new organization that's similar wouldn't be able to float the $500 for a rehearsal every week for 3 months. Like, just the funding structure wouldn't be there, right?
Right.
So like basically a per hour, up to maximum day rate, I would be supportive of.
It sounds like a
Sorry
parking
to,
garage, Mike. You know, you park for 3 hours or so and so. If you park for the whole day, it's, you know, park per hour, it's
Yeah,
$3 an hour. If it's you're there for 24 hours, it's $18 for the day, something like
yeah,
that. You
exactly.
see it in parking garages all the time.
Susan, did we get this from Cabe, this structure?
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
And,
and then for group 3, would you say 200 per hour up to $1,000 for the day?
Yeah, I mean, some of these shows, they're for profit are making a lot of money. Like, that's probably why there's $1,000 day rate. But we
yeah, and
can
maybe group
change it.
3, just keep it. Like, because if it's for profit, it's for profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, I think
But
we
adjust
struggle
it
with
for
group
group
two.
two. Yeah.
Yeah.
and and so that was one way I thought of keeping down the cost. The other way I was thinking of, like, uh, capping it in terms of occurrences. Like, if we do have someone coming in reliably week after week after week, maybe we cap that at a maximum something. I maybe it doesn't make it's not as easy to justify, I think, because you still have these known costs.
Well, I think about let's say the youth cheerleaders. Now that they're probably nonprofit, but they do take money from each kids. I know when my kids were in Pop Warner back in the day, it did make money for all their competitions and things. But we used to use the schools for free,
Mhm.
our local schools. So um, I mean, maybe pay for custodians, but I mean, I don't know if that would be a group 1, group 2 situation. I don't know.
I don't think
Like
it's
the
a group one because it's not a town,
like the
right?
AAU groups, they make a lot of money because they charge families a lot of money.
I
What
know
I
they
think
did.
we should.
what
Yeah.
about like
I
the
don't think.
local little league? I'm asking because I coach baseball as well, and actually they were talking
Well,
about
that's
this the other
rec
day.
that's rec department, so I don't think that's
No.
group one,
That would be
Yeah,
group
right?
one. Okay.
yeah. Let's try
Um,
not to make
no,
it
it
too
wouldn't be. It wouldn't
complicated,
be.
though, Mike.
No?
Little League is so there's Groton Parks and Rec, Mystic
Oh,
Little
I see what
League
you're
or
saying.
Groton Mystic
Yep.
Little League for softball. They'd be group 2.
Mm.
So, and so some of that, basically, we want it to be reasonable for offsetting some of the costs, but particularly in terms of the fields, right? We're
Right.
investing a lot. The town is investing a lot in the fields. We want those
Yeah.
fields to be able to be used. Um, like for instance, the tennis courts, right? Like,
We should
um,
find out who's paying now for who's paying for elementary athletic fields for softball and baseball. Sean, do you know anything about the Little League if they have to pay for their fields?
That I don't know. I just coach, so I'm not really sure. Um, but I do know that they have other fields that they use that aren't necessarily like the high school fields. Um, but I was just thinking like I was at the Mystic Little League board of ed or board meeting the other day, and they were trying to figure out like basically like evaluations that they like to do in like February and March and where they're going to do it, what that was is going to cost. So I don't want that to drive groups that are have our kids right in them away because of the price. But
Right. Well, do we have any data on that, Rita, about who's paid in the past, like for these fields and things?
I could have Angela look into it.
I think we need to assess like who's
yeah,
who. Because I mean, we've been talking about fields. We want our kids out on the fields playing. And I don't
right.
want the cost to prevent them. You know, you want to be able to upkeep your fields for sure, but
Right.
yeah, we can't just
Well,
let
that's what
people
I,
use them all the time. And there should be limitations on when it can be used. Like we can't have folks trampling our brand new football field the day before a game, right? Like a Thursday night, other than the football team themselves. So
right. I think, well, the use of facilities forms goes through the high school, the school first. then
Okay.
Sam, then
Yeah,
me.
so they make sure prioritize the
We make
priorities.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, so I think we're gonna do some fact finding with my senses, and this will come back again. The other one, I guess, it was mentioned before, but make sure kind of get a sense of what we want to say for the like the custodial hours, because I did find where it was. It is in the original part where it says basically you go into this cost structure if there aren't custodians around other and so my guess is and that for inside the building, I think. Um, so outside the building, we might want different, right? Because
Mhm.
um, but they're not typically going to use it during the night. Well, actually, we've got the wonderful lights at the middle school fields.
Now, Rita, how does it work when when someone fills this out and then they have to pay the bill? Where does the money come? You said it goes into,
It comes to us. It comes through the finance office.
so and then you put it into what account?
So the use of facilities, um, I don't know if it's been done like that in the past, but in the policy, it says that it gets, it's equitably divided into the schools for student activities.
Oh, it says it in the policy.
Yeah. That's where the fees go. But obviously the custodian, staff, technical, that stuff goes and offsets salary costs. Does that make sense?
And yeah, what kind of account did you call it?
For the fees, it's student activities. Like
Okay.
me and Angela were actually just talking about a check that we received this year, and how to divvy it up. I think it should just be divvied up amongst the schools and put into their supply account or something. I just feel like it should go, it doesn't say specifically activities, because not all the schools have an activity account. So we can't, only the high school and the middle school have student activity accounts. So I would like to give it back to them in their budget.
Oh,
We haven't
would it
exactly
make
done
sense though
it.
for elementary to have student activities? Because they do have student activities. They just don't have
They
the
don't
account.
have accounts.
Oh,
They have donation accounts. We could divvy it up into their donation account.
yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out because I think in the past it's gone down to the town.
But I do remember a meeting where that was asked when we were at the town council. And I remember them saying that, oh no, that should come to the schools.
Right. Agreed.
Right. So. Well, I guess that's about as much until we do a little research, right? We'll find
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
how this has been working.
And then I've got a question that doesn't need to be answered now, but I recently went through this process at work for like not about this stuff. And we came up with a very logical cost structure. And then we implemented it, and it took a lot of time, a lot of personnel time, probably more than what we were going to raise from it. So we modified it, right? And so as you're going through these things, if we're lowering rates, you might think, well, is this costing more personnel time to keep track of this than we're going to likely gain
Right.
from it?
Yeah,
And
that's
so
true, Mike.
Well,
Right.
and
I
so
do
maybe
want to
group
say,
one grows.
Yeah.
I
So
do
That's
want
why
to
I said
say,
let's keep it simple. It was getting a
and
little complicated.
no, I agree, but I do want to say that right now it is manual, but I'm hoping when we go to Munis that we automate it.
Mhm.
Like I have a workflow. There is, ideas in my head about how to make this more automated, if that makes
okay,
sense.
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does take my staff time I sign multiple use of facilities forms weekly.
Well, I'm glad our
But it's
facilities are being used.
but it's just the nature of the.
Yeah, good. All
Yeah.
right.
So what are you doing, Mike? It's going to go back to stay in the committee?
Yeah, it'll stay in our committee, and
Okay.
we'll see it after some more fact finding.
Okay.
Are you okay with that, Beth?
Purchasing is moving to first, and everything else is coming back.
Oh, yes, yes. We're
Okay.
just talking about this one right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Any other comments on that?
No.
Susan, so is the work study one. The work study one is going to
Yeah.
first
Oh,
also.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I like
gotta
to hear
call
Mike talk at the board meetings.
Yeah, we do.
Mhm.
We do like that.
We made some progress.
Yeah, we
I
did.
thought you preferred to hear me listen. So,
No.
all right. Our next item is number 7, and it's discussion on committee goals and policy review. And our chairperson, Beverly Washington, recommended that we talk about both these things. And this is just the sort of like for the committee goals, it's an opening of the conversation. Um, and the idea is that as a policy committee, we certainly have a charge to review and like recommend new policies. But then my understanding of committee goals, that would be like committee goals for, say, the coming year. And that because we have our overall charge, but the goals is more like what are our priorities in the next, say, 6 months to a year. Is that sort of the angle you'd like us to take? You've asked all the committees this.
Yes. Yeah, that's the angle I like you to take, Mike.
So
Because
and
some
so I think
policies you have to do, the mandated ones you have to do, but the other
right.
ones.
And so for instance, I feel like I think the structure of our goals would take the form of for the next um, you know I mean, we could kind of look at like 6 months to a year timeline. And for committee goals, obviously, we would want to bring in required mandated policies, and that'd be one. Uh, uh, Financial policies in reference to operating practices and the operational review would be another one. That's a big priority for us. Um, and then it's in this discussion point anyway, but you know, uh, a progressive review, or not progressive, just a organized review of current policies would be another. Those are the 3 things I came up with, but I think maybe there might be room for something more targeted along the way too. Um, Kind of like higher level than referrals, more
Yeah.
a
Right.
bigger envelope than a single referral.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it too.
Okay.
And
So
maybe
that was
trying to
3.
go look for the ones that are from the before the 90s. We
Yeah.
still have a
Yes,
few.
yes.
We still have a few that are kind of older.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
80s were a crazy time.
They were.
Um, so so is there any other like kind of priorities, like broad scale priorities we should put on our radar screen from your viewpoint, Susan?
No, I like this list.
Okay.
And I do think it has to be systematic. When I first got here, we had a West Ed report that outlined all the policies and what were the priorities, what we needed to look at first, second, which ones were outdated. So the with the board, we kind of got real systematic, and Erica helped us. So Erica is very good at helping with these things and helping
Got
us
it.
to systematize and get through them. But I think you're absolutely right. You have to start with your mandated priority, and the financials are very important with the ops review. So I think you really outlined it well, Mike.
Great. So we've got 1, 2, 3, right? Mandated, just
Mhm.
shorthanded, financial, and then a systematic review of current policies. How do you like that, Bev?
I like that. That
Me
sounds
too.
great to me.
I think so
Thank you.
too.
So
Thank you
so
for putting
we'll
that on the agenda.
You're quite welcome. And so we'll kind of like I can type that up or Erica or whatever, and we'll have it
Mhm,
back for the next policy meeting so we can
mhm,
um, sort of just by acclaim say these are our goals. But so and if you think of anything else in the meantime,
mhm. Okay.
we can add that too. So the other half of it, and we already started talking about it, is the review of current policies. And I I brought this up last time. Um, I'm wondering, is there room right now? What you'll see is at the bottom of every policy, it'll say approved, and it'll have the date. Um, some of the policies that we're going to go through, we might think, hey, they're good right now. They just need a few less commas. No, I don't know. They're just good as is.
More.
They're- Sorry sorry for that. They're good as is. But um, our notes, our minutes would say that we reviewed it, but I was wondering if we should kind of have an extra line that says reviewed by policy committee on such and such a time. Because I wouldn't want to bog down the board by having to first read, second read something that's the same as before. I was wondering about that from any of you, actually.
I think that makes sense, Michael. I
Mhm.
think
Yeah,
that makes sense. If you're not
yeah,
making any changes, just put
Yeah,
reviewed by
yeah.
the date.
yeah. And so it looks like we're doing our job, which we are, and so it kind of marks that. Um, and I was wondering if you all would like to start with the first set, not tonight, but just take a look at it. It's just two. It's like our mission statement, and there's another one after it. I think it's even the zero levels or the at the thousand levels. I gotta open it up right now. Um,
I
let's
think it
see.
might be the thousands.
Yeah, I think it's something. It's just there are two of them, and I look through them. Yeah, let me see. No, it is the zeros level. So it's
Really?
district mission, goals, and objectives. And within that, there are two policies. There's our mission statement, and then and that's like 0100. And then there's mission, goals, objectives, non-discrimination 0521. I thought they're worth a look because maybe there's and, I'll take that second one. That non-discrimination one is probably um it's 2006, I think. Um, you might see as you look through it, the administration looks through it, they might see, oh, we have something new we have to add because of a special ed law or something like that. And then for us as a policy committee and the administration as well, the first one, the mission goals, we might see something we might want to change. Um, so I was pitching that we start with the the zeros. Bev also noted at another time that I think 1,000 levels is pretty short too, but the zeros are shorter. So
Hey, Mike, when was the 0100 crafted? When was that put in
I'll
place?
call it open. Let's see.
Okay.
Uh, I think 2009.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're not as old as some of them I've seen.
yeah, yeah. Just we could tack off a whole section that way.
Yeah, there you go. And just march our way through.
Yeah. As long as our chair's going to keep attending the meeting, I've got to make progress on what I said we'd make progress on. I'm in the hot seat. So is that a good strategy, or we could start another place too? We could do the 2000s or
No,
1000.
now you got spiked my curiosity.
Okay. Andrea and Sean, are you okay with starting with the zeros next time?
Yes, I do have a email I'm typing up right now with a policy I'd like to have us review. Um,
Yeah.
and but I would like to start as long as we can review that and any other referrals that come in. I think starting there is good with me.
Oh, absolutely. So we'll talk about the referral list next. This won't supplant that. Like we don't have to those refer. I really like to cross them off quicker than they come in, even though that's hard to do. Mm. Yeah, so we'll still take incoming.
Good.
Any other questions or thoughts on that?
No, I think that's a good.
Yeah.
As long as we're still taking referrals from others, yeah, I think it's a good way to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. The next one is review referral tracking list. Um, hoping you've got that. And this time we get to see some crossed off.
Give me one
Caitlin,
second on that one.
got that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
Got it.
So we don't get to cross anything off until it gets to it approved through the second reading, and that happened at the last Board of Ed regular meeting. Oh, I think maybe they've already been taken off at this point.
Or were they ever put on?
No, they were there before. I
They
think
were there?
they're
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry, this is the one that Joyce sent me today.
Oh,
Is
Yeah,
there a
that's
different one?
it says February 4th.
we had ones on before that we just finished. I think they just got taken off, I think. I
Okay.
can find an older version. These are the ones that we have currently, but we just finished a couple.
Yeah, Mike, at the last meeting, appropriate student use generated AI, that came off.
Right.
That came off in November. And the attendance policy came off in November. And then the 6 steps for curriculum, remember that?
Yeah,
That came off in December. So that only left 2 things on your list.
yeah. But we're deprived of seeing them crossed off our to-do
Yeah.
list and written, but they were completed. So we've been making
I don't
progress
think,
as
yeah. Go ahead.
no, it's fine.
I don't think the library policies that you did were on this list.
Oh, they weren't.
I don't think so. Because this list
Uh,
is December 8th. And you didn't have a meeting you had a meeting in January, but I don't see that list. I can't find that.
I'll ask
it-
Erica because somehow she keeps track of all of these. Like when Beverly
Yeah.
asked how many policies did the policy committee when she did her shout out for all the committees, and it was like one a month that we got done. We got like a dozen done in a year, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll ask
But
her.
but I don't think the library ones were on the list because they were mandated policies. So they didn't come from referrals. I think this list comes from referrals from board
okay.
members, remember? And the
Right.
library ones were this mandated policies. So not unless you want to start putting the mandated policies on this list too, Michael.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying that
that's
Erica
right.
does keep track of them. She keeps
Yeah.
track of which ones are which, and
No, you're quite right, because the last time we had the as you said, we had the AI was crossed off, and now it's completed, and then review of attendance policy was crossed off too. So I guess we're not seeing everything that was done, but thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And the one can I just say something real quick, Mike?
Of course.
Okay. The one that says review financial reconciliation policy, it's not on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
You could scratch off on a monthly basis. It's just to make sure we have that policy. Oops.
Yeah, and this is one of the set from the operational review and
Right.
yeah.
Rita, do you know if we have a policy on that already? I could check and see. but it wasn't on
Are
a
you
monthly
talking,
basis.
are you talking about the monthly,
The financial
reconciliations? No, I've never seen
Yeah.
a policy on that.
Okay.
This was coming out of, I think, a comment about like balancing checkbooks essentially, for lack of a better term on my end.
Right, but I've never seen a policy on that. I understand what you're saying.
And so
Yeah.
procedure, I guess, and we can talk about it next time, maybe give some space to this. Well, maybe right now, is that something that's already incorporated in like operational procedures, like rather than the policy end, like where that it's best business practices, but
Yeah, and it's audited, or it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Mhm.
I mean, that's part of the
Are
audit.
you talking about reconciliation?
Yeah, I'm talking about,
Yeah.
if you're talking about bank reconciliations,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
part of the audit.
Yeah.
Because that
But-
wasn't being done on a monthly basis, and that's why that came up. That's why I
Right.
brought it up. But now that we have you, Rita,
We are all
I
set.
suspect that you would do it, so I could
We
withdraw
are
my
keeping,
referral.
all
we are
right.
doing the best we can to keep up. Yes. But they should be reviewed every year, that they are done on a monthly basis
And
by the auditors.
they're reviewed by the auditors, right?
But believe me, I'm keeping an eye on it. My staff are well aware that they need to be done monthly, and I need to
So
sign off on them.
so Bev, should we write that as withdrawn, or
Yeah, you can.
okay? And so that's
Yeah.
the second one.
As long as we have Rita. As long as we have Rita.
Yeah, I've just never seen it on a policy,
Yeah.
but I understand why it's there because of the ops review.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
I'm set with that, Mike.
Okay, great. And then the other one is the complaint process and procedure. And you'll note that that was initiated some time ago. Right now, and just as explanation why we didn't have it on this agenda or the one before, right now we really are trying to get the as our new board, our policy committee goals, get the financial related ones through.
Yeah.
As quickly as possible.
You said it was number 2 on the
Yeah, that's
priority
right.
list. It's a
Yeah,
goal.
exactly. Exactly.
We called it that. So
Yeah. And then we had the library overhead as well. So
yeah,
That's right.
as you can see, we had an efficient meeting, but it's a long meeting, and so we can only do so much each month. Any other questions or comments about the referral list?
No.
no, good job, everybody.
All right.
Thank you, Rita.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Andrea, by far the most important duty of any board member is the one you perform regularly for us. It is time.
And it's time. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we are adjourned at
Aye.
7:47. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Well
Thank you,
done.
Mike.
Good night.
Well
Thank
done.
you, Mike.